Hey, we're the Fords, and this is By Grace We Live. Thanks for joining us for another week on the podcast. We're super excited that you're here and spending part of your week with us. Ryan, how was your week?
Oh, it wasn't too bad.
Did it go by super fast?
No, that's not what I was gonna say.
Oh,
that's
mine
not.
I feel like mine sort of sucked, but not like totally. Just there was like just big parts of it that I was like, man, I wish that didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know. We're recording this on Sunday,
Yes.
and I'm tired.
Oh yeah, me too.
And I don't really know why.
My brain's fried.
Yeah, it was a week. Well, I guess, because we talked about previously, like, things that give us life.
Yeah.
And I don't think I did a lot of that this week.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably why I'm tired now. So
do you have a high and a low of the week that you'd like to share with our audience?
Definitely my high is that we scheduled a trip to Disney World.
Pew, pew, pew. Choo, choo, choo. That's so terrible.
Yeah,
I don't know what that
lame.
was. I don't have any sound effects in my arsenal.
But yeah, so that was super exciting. And
Yeah.
also extremely nerve-wracking because we are taking a almost 2-year-old, and so that's going to be very different.
We're either going to have an absolute blast or we're really going to regret taking him so young.
I mean, I don't expect it to be like,
it's not going to be like it
bad
was
or
when
anything.
we went just the two of us
Well,
either.
no, yeah, obviously it's going to be different.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to have fun. Like, I don't think
For
he's
sure.
going to give us a hard time. It's just like he's going to be flying on a plane for the first time ever.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be
Those people.
a person with a crying baby.
Yep. But honestly, like, he's super chill and laid back for the most part. And I've read a couple of blogs and like best tips to travel with toddlers. And so we picked the back of the airplane, and we're definitely going to be downloading some Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and stuff on our tablet so that he's like occupied. And then I also read like a good idea is to like give them either like a snack right as you're taking off or like a drink or something, so that like, and as you're landing, so that their ears, if they are popping, like they're chewing
And swallowing.
so that it's helpful. So like definitely gonna take some pouches because those he like, applesauce or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Come to us for all of your flying with toddler tips
Well,
after
we
we
don't-
get
I was gonna say.
after we get back from this trip, and we'll
Not
tell you
yet.
what worked and what didn't work.
Yeah.
But I think
So,
it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
And it'll be your birthday week, so I'm
Yes.
super excited that you're spending your birthday in one of your most favorite places in the world.
Yeah, that'll be fun. Hanging out with Mickey, having a birthday bash. So,
Actually, having a not so scary Halloween bash, because we're going to be going for like the
yeah.
Halloween party. I mean, that's not why we're going, but
Right.
that'll be the
It
day
just is happening.
on that day.
Yeah.
So that's a high for sure.
Yep. And then my low is you cracking your less than 24-hour-old phone that we just got because
Yeah.
you needed a new phone.
It was bad.
And then you cracked it.
Yeah, so my phone has been freezing for like months. Like
Yeah.
I have to
Locking up.
restart
Yeah.
it like multiple times a day sometimes, and I just didn't want to spend like the money on it, but it was a necessary purchase and we got a good deal and everything. And I have never dropped a phone on the ground and cracked it ever. But yes, I went to the park with some friends. We went for walks. I had the phone on the top of the stroller, like kind of where the cup holders are, but the visor part of his like the hood thing that goes over the stroller to cover him from the sun was covering my phone. So like I just forgot that I had it there because I wasn't using it. And we were getting back in the car. I went to put the stroller in the car, collapsed the stroller. My phone hit the ground, and I just went, and all my two friends that were there were like, what? And I was like, I just dropped my brand new phone. I'm like, Ryan is going to be so mad at me. And it was weird because, like, for whatever reason, in my head, I didn't think I'm going to pick it up and there's going to be cracks all over it because I've never done that before. And I've always had a case, but my case is in the mail. So, like, we're still waiting for it.
Yeah.
So I just didn't anticipate it was going to be as bad as it was. It was pretty bad. Shards of glass came off in my thumb. It's like, okay, this is not good.
Yep.
But we got it fixed.
Yeah.
For relatively cheap.
Yeah.
They just replaced my screen, but that was like my entire Friday night I drove around so much Friday.
Yeah.
Because we had to drive it like
drop it off
20
and then pick
minutes
it up
away.
later.
Yeah. And pick it up 2 hours later. It was just.
Yeah. You got a new phone, cracked the screen, and got it repaired all in less than 24 hours.
I know. Yeah. Just my luck.
Yeah. So there you go. That was my low.
That was part of my this week sucks. Like, can we just not have this week ever happen again? For sure. I was like, that really put me in a sour mood, if I'm being honest. Because also, like, I knew you were upset. And I was upset at myself enough, but like you didn't respond poorly to me, but you were just like, why weren't you extra careful? I'm like, I wasn't trying to be not careful. So I was just mad at myself because I knew it was brand new and whatever. But at the end of the day, it's just a phone. Like, I'm safe, you're safe, Miles is safe. That's all that matters. Yep. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So how was your week?
Well, just marvelous.
I mean, always forget to ask you.
No,
so
it's okay. I kind of have been.
Yeah, you've already been kind of sharing.
It's been a mixed bag. Not that it was a bad week, like in general. Like, there was really good parts of the week. Miles did wonderful at his swim lesson this week, so that was enjoyable. Like, he didn't cry. He actually was like participating. Like last week when the teacher was trying to show us how to get them out of the pool, he just refused to like even move, and I had to like shove him. This week he actually like climbed out, turned around, sat on the edge like he was supposed to, and he was actually saying like, wee, as we were like swishing and swashing and stuff. So that was fun. But the phone cracking was super frustrating. Another thing that really sucked in the low of my week was Riley had a seizure. We did share this last week on the episode. She was puking and we really didn't know what was going on. And I think it was Thursday. I was like finishing up breakfast in the kitchen with Miles, and I was putting dishes away, and I got Miles out of his seat. We went into the living room for him to play, and she had just she was like on the tail end of having her seizure and had puked everywhere, all over our living room floor. Again, so sorry if you're listening and you're like eating or something. But I'm thankful because I could tell she must have been laying on one of our living room chairs right before that, because there was just like little drops of puke like right next to the chair, and then she was like laying in front of that area, and then there was a bunch of puke. So I think she got up while she was puking, and I'm so grateful that she didn't get it all over the chair, because it was frustrating enough to clean it up off the floor. And then she laid in it, so I had to pick her up and take her to the bathtub. And when I picked her up, there's poop on the ground. So I was like, this is just getting better and better. But like, that really put me in a downer mood too, because I felt bad that I didn't know it was happening. And she was having to do it, like she had to go through the seizure all by herself, and she's never had to. I mean,
well, that we know of.
Maybe she's had them in the middle of the night, we don't know, but like, I'm always there when it happens, and I just felt awful that she had it and was just by herself.
Well, normally she will get up and come to
me, yeah, which is that's why I think she was on the chair, and like she just didn't have time. Like, she just got off because she knew something was happening and whatever. But so our poor little Riley girl, and she's kind of been acting like weird the rest of the weekend. So I don't know what's going on with her, but that was a downer. The high of my week, for sure, I'm excited to go to Disney World. This is actually my idea, surprisingly enough. Like last month, I found like the week that it was your birthday, we would get discounted like tickets or prices for the room, and then we got a really good flight deal, and I brought it up to you, and you were just like, anxious. It's a big purchase, short amount of time, whatever. And then you came home Tuesday night, and you're like, let's go. And I was like, what? Are you kidding me? And you're like, no, let's go. So that was exciting. And then I'm trying to think if there are any other highs. Nope, that's about it. I'm just kidding. There were. I can't really remember them.
Classic.
Yeah. So I feel like you. Like this week flew by, and I feel kind of fried right now. Oh, we forgot the quote of the week. We were going to share. You go ahead and share it. This is the quote of the week. Yep. And I bet you can't guess why we're sharing it.
So it is, well, I'll read the quote and then we'll say
why.
Give it context. So it's really short, and I'll just read it. To all that come to this happy place, welcome. And so it's Walt Disney. And that was in his speech for the opening of Disneyland.
Yeah.
And it's just the beginning of the speech. He goes on, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. Something about Disneyland is yours, and it's where you can experience like the future and fantasy and all these things. And I forget the exact quote, the rest of it, but I used to I wanted Sarah to make a sign that we could put above our door that said, to all who come to this happy place, welcome. Walt Disney. But,
I never did that.
No, you didn't.
It's not that I didn't want to. I just think I forgot.
Yeah.
But if we were professional podcasters, like we had planned on, we were going to start with quote of the week, then lead into, surprise, we're going to Disney. But here we are. This is us.
Yeah.
And it's okay.
So that's our quote of the week.
Yeah.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. And
it's true. For the most part, like our experience at Disney has always been, this does feel like a magical experience. And it is a very welcoming place.
Yeah.
So,
and you can apply it to your own life and home.
That's right.
Or wherever you live.
Yeah.
And to be welcoming. So, and to try to build a happy place.
Yes. Amen to that.
Yeah.
So moving on to book club, I think I'm just going to skip over book club actually, unless you have certain comments you want to share. I just started reading
Living Things, which is just a collection of poetry by Ann Porter.
Okay.
But
you talked about that last week.
Yeah. I hadn't started reading it last time. But I just mentioned it was going to be the next thing I read for poetry, but it's good so far. I'm only a few in because I don't read a lot of, I try to take it slow. So I only read a few a day.
Just savor it.
Yeah. And they're good so far. I'm looking forward to getting deeper into the collection and getting more of a feel for her writing and style and her voice. So
yeah. And you're still reading Lord of the Rings. I'm still reading Dream Big.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
About our whole podcast, I think you've been reading.
No, I finished a couple other books.
Just kidding.
I will say though, I think I'm at the point now where when I finish the book, I feel like I'm going to have to start taking action. And I'm nervous about that. And I do want to do like a podcast episode about this book specifically. I'd like to do it ideally after you read it as well, but I think that's just not going to be timely.
Yeah, we'll see.
So we'll see. But for me, my biggest fear is I'm afraid to step out and do some of the things that I really want to do and like dreams that I have. And I feel like when I finish this book, it's kind of like symbolic of, okay, now you've been encouraged, so go and do it.
Yeah.
And there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to do it. So, yeah. But I am still I'm going to finish it. I'm only a couple chapters
just might
away.
Take
another month. No, I'm just kidding. I do have like 3 books that I want to read right now. So I got to finish it because I can't keep adding books on books on books.
Yeah.
Stacks on stacks on stacks.
Okay.
Just kidding. Books on books on books should be a t-shirt.
It probably is.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to look that up.
I mean, it's nothing
like, it's not extraordinary, but Anyway, so yeah, we're both still reading, plugging along. And for this week's episode, we thought it'd be fun to kind of mix things up a bit and just do a what are we watching right now?
A little bit of a more lighthearted.
Yeah. I feel like we've been pretty like heavy, not heavy in a bad way, but very like reflective the last couple episodes.
Yeah. And this just being
it's been a long week.
It's nice to have a topic that isn't as intense.
Yeah.
Not intense,
mentally,
but you know what I mean.
Not exhausting, but like using mental
engaging.
capacity more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I can string sentences together just fine. Thank you very much. So this should be interesting. I guess, do you want to start? Do you want me to start? What are you watching? What am I watching? What are we watching together? I thought that's kind of what we could do.
Okay. So I'm watching mostly Star Trek shows on my own. Yeah.
I know that's why everyone has come to this episode today to learn about Star Trek.
Yep, for the Trek talk.
Is this what it is?
Yes, that's correct. She's doing the Vulcan salute.
Yeah.
Right now, so live long and prosper.
It's the only thing I really know from Star Trek.
But I just finished a series called Strange New Worlds. It's new on Paramount Plus, but it was so good. It was like what I've been wanting out of new Trek shows, and we finally got it. Takes place before the original series, so just to kind of give you a little, idea of where it's at in the timeline. But and then I'm also watching another Star Trek show that's newer, Star Trek Discovery. I'm catching up though. I'm on like season 3. I just don't love it. I don't love it. It's not very good in my opinion. I mean, there are people who love it.
Is this the one with the main character who's a female who's like she's Winston's girlfriend on New Girl?
I don't know.
It's the one that you were just watching last night.
Yes, yeah.
And you don't like her because she doesn't listen.
Well, it's that I feel like her character hasn't grown. Like
she's not learning as she makes mistakes.
We're season 3, and season 3 started with the same. She's acting the same way that she acted in the first episode of season 1, and it's like you've been through some stuff.
Yeah,
I expect a little more character growth throughout this process.
Some people are just dumb as a doornail. Just kidding.
But yeah, it's just weird. Like, and it's a shame too, because there's a lot of things I like about it, and there's characters I like. I think part of the issue is it focuses so much on this one character, and she's not the captain, which is strange compared to other shows, the other Star Trek shows. But she, but I wish there was just more from the rest of the crew. Everything pretty much hinges on this one character, and I think that's part of the issue I have with the show too, is that I don't feel the sense of Star Trekness that the other shows provide. With, yes, there's a focus on the captain, but there's so much, you can see so much of the value from the rest of the crew, and you get to know them way more, I feel like, and I just want that from this show. Yeah. Because there's a lot of great characters who just don't get screen time or like storylines. But yeah, so that's Star Trek. I won't belabor my Star Trek talk. I'm also rewatching.
You could talk about Star Trek for hours.
Yes,
probably.
I'm also rewatching The Next Generation.
Also a Star Trek.
Also
show.
Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yes,
For those of you who aren't
because
Trekkies.
I just like having that. It's my favorite series. So
that's it.
I like to
That's
rewatch
all
it.
you're watching by yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I finished some Star Wars.
Those are 3 different shows,
Yeah.
so.
I finished some Star Wars stuff like a couple weeks ago. So, what are you watching?
Mine's a bit of a mixed bag. Which, surprise, surprise. So I really love game shows. I feel like kind of like an old lady sometimes because a lot of my go-to shows are game shows or cooking shows, which I kind of feel like is in that category of like, this is probably what older people watch. But I'm really loving right now To Tell the Truth. It's on, I'm watching it on Hulu, but I don't remember what the actual like network is that it's on.
It's probably like ABC or something.
Yeah. I mean, the original show goes back to like the 50s. That's how long it's been around. But this is the remake of it. Anthony Anderson is the host. And if you haven't watched it, the premise is there are different like rounds where 3 people come up. And there's a panel of 4 celebrities, and it's their job to figure out of the 3 people which one is telling the truth. So every person will say the same statement. Like the fact is about them. Like, I went to prom with Taylor Swift. That was one of them. Or I don't know. Oh, you'd like this one. Harrison Ford rescued me in a helicopter one time. Like that was literally someone's experience.
Yeah.
So all 3 of them say the same thing, and then the panel has a couple minutes to try to ask them questions and figure out who they think is telling the truth. I don't know what it is about it, but I really love that show. Like, I love trying to figure out who's lying, who's telling the truth.
It's because there's a mystery.
Yes, that's true. I do love mysteries. And really, I feel like it's not a game show. There's no prize or winner. Like, the celebrity who gets the most wrong, they're like the loser at the end of the round. And like, in the beginning, when the show started, they'd have to like tweet a lie about themselves, or Anthony Anderson would tweet a lie about them, which was always kind of silly. And then it turned into like, they made up some silly gif about them at the end of the show. And now it's just like you get crowned the biggest dummy. Like it's not, there's no prize in the sense that like Family Feud, people win money. Like that's really fun to watch, which I also love Family Feud, but that's beside the point. I just really like trying to figure out who's telling the truth, who's lying. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm shocked, you know? So that's one. And the other show that I have started investing in again, this is a rewatch, is Boy Meets World. So Boy Meets World came out in the 90s. I grew up watching it because I have 3 older brothers, and I know 2 of them for sure were watching it like all the time. It was one of my favorite shows growing up, and I've watched it a couple of times since then. But what has sparked my interest in watching it again is 3 actors from the show, Danielle Fishel, Ryder Strong, and Will Friedle, who play Topanga, Sean, and Eric on the show. They started a rewatch podcast, and this is brand new. So they're only out with like the first 5 episodes of the show that they've covered. And it's been really fun listening to their experience, learning how all of them kind of came to be on the show, some behind the scenes stuff. They've had Mr. Feeney on, for those of you who've watched. He was like the teacher of the group of kids. And like, obviously, he was probably the best actor on the show. He's known for being the voice of in Knight Rider. What's the car's voice? Do you know?
Kit, I think.
Yeah, he's Kit in Knight Rider. So like he's a big deal. But anyway, they had him on. They had one of the directors on, just a couple other people from the show. And it's just been really fun to listen to them talk about their experience and share what they thought is funny from the show, what it was like behind the scenes, that kind of thing. And it's obvious, it's one of my favorite shows. I even think in the beginning, like this is season 1, so you know they're still trying to like iron out the kinks and figure out what characters should be like. But even though it isn't fully developed and perfect, there's still such good little like nuggets in every episode. And almost every episode I well up with tears, which that's not surprising because like I'm a big sap, but it's just a good family friendly show. So if you never watched it and you're interested, it's on Disney Plus. Yeah. I highly recommend it.
I mean, it's a good show.
It is. It's 7 seasons long, so buckle in. But yeah, so I'm rewatching that and I'm really enjoying it. And I feel like those are like really the only 2 that I keep coming back to when I have time to watch TV. And then we're watching a few shows together.
Yes.
Do you want to talk about Holey Moley?
Sure. Well, we're watching Holey Moley together, which is great, I think. So the premise, it's another game show technically, kind of competition show.
It's a competition,
but
people do win though. They get like $250,000 or something.
I think it's $25,000.
That sounds more accurate.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they win the whole
thing,
yeah. But it's essentially extreme miniature golf. And
like
it's
Wipeout and miniature golf combined.
That's a good thing. Yeah. So they'll like putt on these crazy courses, and then they have to do some kind of stunt thing usually. But I just think it's hilarious, and I love the hosts. Joe Tessitore, who is a real like ESPN
commentator.
Yeah. And then
Rob Riggle.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Actor. But and they're just hilarious together too, I think. And so I don't know. I think it's great and everyone should watch it.
Yeah. It is. It's funny to watch. Like I do usually end up feeling really bad for the people who get like clobbered by, I don't know. There's one where you have to like run past a bunch of porta potties and like hopefully the doors don't open while you're running, but usually they do, and then they just like chucked into this swampy looking water. It's
you have
gross.
to get by them before the people inside open the doors, and then you get launched into this.
There is some suggestive humor in it, like some of the courses, I will say. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's just not. It's not like
bad or dirty, but
I mean, it's all
like
PG.
It's important to put that out there.
Well,
suggestive humor.
Okay.
Okay. But it is fun.
Yeah.
You really get into it.
I think it's funny.
You do.
Yeah, and I enjoy it.
And some of the people who come on the show, they're hilarious.
Eccentric.
Yes, because you're like, are you really this excited about miniature golf? I mean, one guy literally bought a golf course, like a miniature golf course, because he's obsessed with it so much. And he practices all the time.
Yeah,
He did go through.
Did he go through?
Yeah, because I remember saying, well, that's what happens when you can practice like however many times you want in a day.
Yeah. Well, because whoever wins that episode, then they go on to
the end of the season.
The last episode, to compete to win the like
$25,000.
Yeah,
I did look it up. It is. You're correct.
Okay.
$250,000. That'd be a little
That's
much.
a lot.
I would start practicing miniature golf now. I'd be like, I'm gonna go on the show.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. And then the other show that we're watching is called Ghosts. So
we love a good sitcom.
We do. This actually, the first time we watched the American version.
Yeah,
but
which
there's also
is newer.
Yes.
The American version came second.
This year or last year? When did it come out?
I want to say last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is it on NBC?
CBS.
CBS. I never know what the stations are. But it originated in Great Britain. So, like, there's a British version.
BBC.
Shocker. We're stealing the British versions and trying to remake them.
It's like The Office.
Yeah. But it is really good. Like, I don't think they did a bad job with the American version.
Yeah, I really liked it.
In fact, I actually liked the husband in the show of the American version better.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I feel like I think he just has more...
He adds more to the show.
Well, yeah, he's more involved in the storylines, I feel like, and given more of a story himself.
Yeah. So the premise of the show is this. There is a huge estate that this girl inherits because there's nobody left in her family to inherit it but her.
And it's like a super, like, distant relative.
Yeah. So, like,
so
I think in the British version, it's like her dad's, like,
I mean, it's so ridiculous that you wouldn't be able to probably say what it is.
So anyway, like out of nowhere, she inherits this gigantic mansion, and but this mansion is haunted with ghosts, and her and her husband move in, and they decide they're gonna try to start like a bed and breakfast, and the ghosts are really upset by this because they don't even want them there. Like, they don't want to be bothered with having humans living in the house. They just want to have the house for themselves. So they try to like come up with plans to get them out of the house, not to stay, all that. Well, I won't give away too many details, but somehow or another, the girl of the show, like the main character, she almost dies, but she doesn't. But because she has like this really close encounter with death, now she can see and hear the ghosts. So then she starts to like develop relationships with the ghosts in the show, and then like throughout the seasons you're learning how the ghosts died. So like the whole,
which are usually like silly, ridiculous.
The whole premise is that every ghost that lives on this estate died there, and they can't leave.
Right.
So it's just really funny. Like there's, you know, they have different eras being represented. Like there's literally a caveman in the first, in this British version. One. In the American version, he is like a Viking. Yeah. But it's funny. It's clean. Like I don't think there's anything too.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like PG.
Yeah.
Maybe PG-13.
Yeah.
But it's nothing too crazy. But it's funny.
And every episode is different, which I like. Like it's, you know,
much
different
like
stories.
A sitcom.
Yeah.
It's where it's not serialized.
Yeah.
It's not telling one overarching story usually.
There's just something, I think I'm really liking the British version too, because there's just something about British shows that like tugs at my heartstrings for some reason. Like, I don't know. It's just, I really like British shows. But yeah. And it's kind of helping us. It's a placeholder while we wait for the American version to come back for a second season. Because I think they finished the whole first season.
Yeah.
Most shows are on a hiatus right now, too, for summer.
Yeah.
So
come back in the fall, hopefully.
Yeah. But it's been fun to watch. And we're almost done with it now. Like, there's only 3 seasons out. So we're almost finished. And I'm like, oh, no. What are we going to do? Well, we could go back to Downton Abbey. Which we were watching, but
we just kind of fell off.
We watched too much too fast, I think.
Yeah.
Like we were binging it, and then we got to the 4th season. I was like, I think I just need a break, especially because they're 45-minute episodes, and that feels like a lot of time to.
Sometimes I think they're longer.
Yeah, well, especially like the season finale, they're like an hour and a half. So it's like that's dedicating a lot of time each night to an like I just don't want to do that all the time.
Yeah, it's not something you can just put on real quick. Right. And it's a drama.
Yeah.
So it's like you're
like
more
a lot of heavy stuff too.
Emotionally. And so sometimes you just want a nice sitcom about ghosts.
Yeah, right. We got to a point where there was a lot of like sad things happening one after another too. And I was like, okay, I just can't do this anymore.
It's taxing.
Yeah. So we took a break, but Ghosts, highly recommend it.
Yeah, and it's not scary at all either.
No.
None of it is played to like. There's no like jump scares and spooky. It's all goofy and funny, and it's a straight up comedy. Yeah,
and we both have like our favorite character ghosts, and they're just. I don't know. They're hilarious.
Well, and I think another reason why I like the husband's character in the American version better than in the British version is because he actually developed, even though the husband can't see or talk to the ghosts, he, through his wife, develops relationships with them. Yeah. And I think it's just
cute.
It is.
It's
and
cute.
It's funny and cute. And
they didn't spend a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time. You're right. With the British husband. Yeah.
Like he's there and he's just like this added person who lives in the house and like, obviously she has a relationship with him. But like just now we're in the 3rd season and he's had any interaction with the ghosts. But he's always like, he's kind of like freaked out by him still. Like he's like, are they in the room still? And like, I don't know. But
not wanting to stay home alone because he knows there's a bunch of ghosts. But it's like, whereas in the American version, he's husband
best friends with the one guy.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say.
Pete, right?
Yeah, Pete. And in the American version.
And he like thinks it's cool and loves it and like always is asking his wife to like communicate with them or to like get things, get them to do things and stuff. But it's funny.
Yeah.
I think though, I think I like overall
the American version.
No, the British version better.
Yeah, it's because it's British.
Yeah,
everything's better.
Yeah, it's just there's just certain things I think I like about it. I don't know really though. It's hard to like pinpoint
why
exactly.
Yeah, but we've also seen more.
That's true.
There's only one season out of the American version.
That's true.
But the British, there's 3. So like we've seen different storylines.
Right.
And we probably won't see the exact same ones, but I think we know the characters more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Yeah. But it's funny.
Yeah.
Like we're going to get off here.
And probably watch it.
And we're going to go eat some dinner because we haven't eaten dinner yet. We're going to go watch it.
Yeah.
Have a jolly old time.
Yeah.
What do British people say? A romp? No.
I don't think that. Probably a good time.
Anyway, they just have funny ways of saying things.
Sometimes.
Like, chuffed is nuts literally means like I'm excited, doesn't it? Who
Yeah, but
says that?
I don't think they don't say chuffed is nuts. I think they most of the time they'll say it chuffed.
We've heard someone say chuffed is nuts. I know that.
No,
I
found that online.
Oh.
But I'm pretty sure in the Great British Baking Show they've said chuffed.
Yeah.
Though. But it's like whenever something looks good,
yeah,
they'll say it. That's smart.
Yeah. They just have a better way of talking.
Yeah.
Why did we like?
I just think it's because it's different.
Yeah.
We find it like. Maybe.
It's just normal for them.
They use different words for different things, and we think, oh, that's neat and clever, because we don't use those kind of words.
Because we're not clever. Anyway, this is not what you came here for. But if you do like what you're hearing, please make sure you are following us on Instagram at By Grace We Live Pod, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. And I say it every week, and I'm going to say it again. We would be so, so grateful if you took a couple minutes or even seconds to just rate us or review us wherever you listen to podcasts. I know it sounds like kind of a silly request, but it really does help get our podcast out there and for more people to be able to view it. I did go on Apple Podcasts the other day, and I was super excited because we had a few ratings, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
If you wanted to leave a review, that would even be better. Let us know. What are you liking? What don't you like? Should we talk more about Star Trek and less about ghosts, or vice versa? You let us know.
Definitely Star Trek.
Yeah. But anyway, thanks again for joining us. We hope you found this absolutely riveting, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.